Hello, my friend. In this short video, we're going to be answering the question, what is QE3? What is quantitative easing? QE3, like I just mentioned, QE stands for quantitative easing, and 3 stands for the third time that this has been initiated by the Federal Reserve. This is a gentleman by the name of Ben Bernanke. He is the current chairman of the Federal Reserve, and QE3 was initiated by him about a week ago, which, don't quote me on this, but I believe it was September 13th of 2012. And what QE3 is Ben and the Federal Reserve buying billions of dollars worth of mortgage-backed securities, $40 billion a month to be exact. And I think it's funny how they said that it was $40 billion a month until further notice. So they didn't actually say that there was going to be an end to dumping these $40 billion a month into mortgage-backed securities, but it was going to happen until they decided to stop doing it. And they're doing this, of course, in an effort to prop up the housing market as a way to encourage consumer spending and consumer confidence, as a way to encourage banks to start lending again. Where is this money coming from, this $40 billion a month? Is it coming from taxpayers? Well, in a sense, it's coming from taxpayers of tomorrow, because this is money that's being printed by the Federal Reserve, $40 billion a month being conjured out of thin air and being put in as this effort to stimulate the economy. Now that we've talked about what is QE3, we've answered the question, $40 billion a month in an effort to stimulate the economy. What are some of the problems associated with QE3? Well, like we just mentioned, this is an effort by the Federal Reserve to stimulate economic growth. But one of the things that this will ultimately lead to is inflation. Inflation being an increase in the amount of currency in circulation, resulting in a relatively sharp and sudden fall in its value and a rise in prices. We've seen this throughout history. This was happening right before the fall of the Roman Empire. They were devaluing their currency. This was happening in Germany towards the late 1920s, early 1930s. This was happening in Germany, and it happened as recently as 2008 in Zimbabwe, as well as many, many other times throughout history. And we see it, of course, in the form of rising prices, rising gas and fuel prices, rising prices in commodities, food, like I mentioned, oil, gold, and silver. So in other words, life is about to get a lot more expensive all around the world. One thing that you can certainly do is start buying more non-perishable foods and seeds and other things to hold on to before this crisis really hits, and before this inflation and hyperinflation period comes into play. Now, increasing buying more food as well as other commodities like gold and silver, because what this does is this means that our dollars are not going to go as far as they once did, which squeezes even more of the wealth out of the citizens, out of the middle class, whereas personal debt levels are record highs already. Savings rates are in decline, and I want to share with you my solution, one thing that I've been able to do to protect myself and my family during this crisis. My name is Adam Chandler. I live in northern Colorado, and about 4 years ago, I started my own business. I became an entrepreneur. I did it because of necessity. I was actually laid off from 2 advertising positions that I held at the time. I started taking my financial education seriously. I actually started doing marketing for a financial education company where the products were around financial education. They did seminars. I started taking my financial education very seriously, investing in books and seminars, books by people like Robert Kiyosaki, T. Harv Eker. Started going to wealth creation conferences around investing strategies of the rich. We're going to talk a little bit more about financial education in just a minute. But through being an entrepreneur, I found a way to significantly reduce my taxes, pay significantly less taxes, increase my cash flow to the tune of well over 500% over a 2-year period, and increase my holdings in precious metals, in gold and silver, because this company that I started doing marketing for was I was learning about a lot of the historic reasons for some of the economic problems that we're seeing today. I also read this book, Guide to Investing in Precious Metals, Guide to Investing in Gold and Silver, written by Michael Maloney. Michael Maloney is Robert Kiyosaki's precious metal advisor, and I read this book about 6 months ago. It also explained a lot of the historical reasons why gold and silver is a great investment, and this came right out of the book Rich Dad's Guide to Investing in Gold and Silver by Michael Maloney, which I highly recommend. When paper currency becomes too abundant and thus loses value, man always turns back to precious metals. During these events, there is always an enormous wealth transfer, and it is within your power to transfer that wealth either away from you or towards you. Now, if you want to transfer that wealth towards you, I want to give you some action steps, some things that I was able to do to increase my assets, as well as, like I said, increase my cash flow and pay less taxes. Gold and silver, like I mentioned, something that I've taken very seriously and learned why, as more money is being printed through these efforts to stimulate the economy, gold and silver become a better investment, and the price of gold and silver usually rise dramatically, as they are right now. I found a way actually to, like I said, increase my holdings in physical precious metals, do it in a completely risk-free way, and actually doing it for free by promoting it. And that's what I one thing that I want to share with you, how I've been able to significantly increase my assets in the form of mostly silver, but gold as well. So this is my solution. In a second, I'm going to show you another YouTube video where you're going to learn more about my personal solution, how I've been able to protect my wealth and my family's wealth and increase it during this economic crisis. I'm also going to introduce you to this man right here. His name is Mike Dillard, and he's somebody that I've been following very, very closely over the last couple of years, and he's going to introduce you to the most important 90 minutes of your life. In just a minute, I'm going to take you to a page that looks exactly like this, where you're going to be able to register. See this little thing that says select a date right here? You'll actually be able to register for an upcoming webinar where you can discover this rare webinar exposes the one investment the top 1% are betting on during the coming economic collapse. And you'll be able to learn how to profit like the ultra rich during times of economic chaos like we're seeing right now, caused by things like QE3. Now, right below this video, you're going to see a link that looks exactly like this. This is just a pretty link that I created on my blog. When you click this link, it's going to take you right to a page that looks exactly like this, where you can register for this upcoming webinar. So click on that link, and then you'll also see something right underneath the YouTube video that says show more. You click that link, and that will expose this bottom part where this is the YouTube video right here that actually shares a little bit more about my story, about my financial education background, and about how I found a way to increase my precious metal holdings for free, as well as increase my cash flow and pay significantly less taxes, and how you can too. So increase your financial education by this top link right here, and learn about what you can do about it to protect yourself and your family's wealth, and increase your wealth during these chaotic economic times.